guys, welcome to my channel, Christina Cakes It. I'm Christina, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a half and half cake. So this is a really fun cake that I have for you guys, and this cake is actually for our niece and nephew who are twins, and they are turning 7 years old. And they live on the East Coast, so I knew I wanted to send them a cake, but I wanted to do something kind of fun and interesting. So I decided to do a cake that's going to be half chocolate with like a candy bar chocolate filling and half rainbow with lots of sprinkles. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how to make this. So in front of me, you can see I have already prepared my cake layers, and the recipes I used for these are in the show notes, so those are below. And so all 4 layers have been leveled and they have simple syrup on them. So these cakes are ready to be frosted and stacked. So I'm going to start off by cutting my cake levels in half. And something to note is this cake is actually only going to be 3 layers high because it's getting mailed, but you definitely can do this as tall as you would like. So I'm just gonna start by building each side first. So I'm using some chocolate buttercream. I'm gonna give it a really thick layer. And I have a ton of cut up candy bars here. So I have like Reese's, and I have Snickers, Butterfinger, some Twix, M&Ms, and Kit Kat. I thought that would be just kind of fun to have in there in the cake, like a little surprise. And for my rainbow cake layer, nice thick layer of vanilla buttercream. Add some extra sprinkles on this side. Oh, I forgot my sprinkles. So now what I want to do is I want to compare the heights of my cakes. They're actually pretty close. They might work. So if one of them was a lot taller, I would just take it here and cut a little bit off the top. I might take a little bit off this rainbow side here. So I'm just gonna take a knife and just cut a little bit off. So now that my cakes are the same height, both sides are, I'm going to start actually putting them on the cake board and decorating them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put a little bit of frosting on my cake board so that my cakes will stick. And I'm actually going to stick my cakes together using vanilla because I feel like that's more neutral than the chocolate flavor. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and crumb coat each side. And at this point, it's okay if I go over a little bit onto, like, you know, if I mix the sides a tiny bit, because this is my crumb coat. I'm going to chill this cake and then I'm gonna clean it up and make it really look divided. So now that I have both halves crumb coated, I'm going to put this in the fridge for about 20-30 minutes. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm going to finish decorating and making this cake look like 2 perfect separate halves. All right, so my cake was in the fridge for about half an hour. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm just going to start by decorating like each side separately. So I'm gonna start with my chocolate side. So I'm gonna give it another thick layer of frosting. It's okay if I get a little bit of frosting on the other side because we're gonna chill the cake again. And when the frosting is chilled, we can easily just kind of like basically scrape it away. So now that I have my second crumb coat, I'm going to put this back into the fridge because it did need another layer before we do our final coat and really divide the cake. All right, so cake is out of the fridge again, and I'm gonna give it another coat of frosting. So you can see that I can just scrape away any bits that kind of got over to the wrong half. That's why we chill the cake. So I'm going to finish my chocolate side with some drips and candy bar like pieces, but I'm gonna chill it again because I need the cake cold before I add the drips. So I'm gonna work on my rainbow half, and I'm gonna cover this with another layer of vanilla frosting, and then I'm gonna cover the entire half with rainbow sprinkles. Covering a cake in rainbow sprinkles is definitely a little bit messy. So you're going to want to put like foil down, or this is just like a cookie sheet that I covered. And I'm just going to start adding my sprinkles, but I'm using a barrier here. So I'm just gonna press down to make sure these sprinkles stick in here. And then I can see I obviously have a few over here, so I'll make sure to take those off and fix my chocolate frosting. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the side. Have my little barrier. As you can see, I always have tons of sprinkles. I just buy these on Amazon. So after I have half of my cake covered in sprinkles, I'm gonna go back in and carefully just take away any that may have gotten over this line and put a little more frosting in and then put it back in the fridge. All right, we are almost done with our cake, but what I wanna do is add just a few drips, or just drips along the side, and then some little candy bar pieces to finish this off. So I have just some chocolate ganache that I made off camera, and I'm just gonna carefully add some drips. I'm gonna be very careful when I get to the edge. And then the very last thing I'm gonna do is just randomly add some candy bar pieces. And I'd also like to point out to Sydney and Wyatt, when you watch this, that your uncle ate some of this. So he ate some of your ingredients. So I'm just very randomly putting on wherever I feel like they look nice. So I was kind of going for like an artistic, like minimalist placement here. I don't know if my 7-year-old niece and nephew will get that, but I like how this looks. All right, my half rainbow sprinkle cake and half chocolate candy bar cake is done. And I'm super excited for Sydney and Wyatt to receive this cake. We love them and we miss them so much, and happy birthday to our favorite twins. And I do hope that you guys enjoyed this episode and you try this technique. And if you did like this episode, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.